One of the reasons the Greens have the reputation for high art architecture and beautiful craftsmanship that they have is because of the makers. They had put together a group of people who were able to execute at the level that they were designing at.
The Halls were a pair of brothers, John and Peter Hall. They were essentially the only contractors who were building the furniture and lighting for the Green and Green firm. Peter was a general contractor and John was his shop foreman. And they had their own shop here in Pasadena. In almost all Green and Green design chairs, the width at the back is narrower and it's wider at the front. And the legs are not square, they're parallelograms. And that shape is to meet the angle created by that tapering in the back. The Halls came up with a technique for how to do the joinery on these parallelogram legs. In addition to cutting the mortise for the tenon, you have to cut a secondary mortise to house the entire rail.
There is a simplicity that hides the complexity in the Hall-built Green and Green designed piece. It was the Hall's understanding of wood and the seasonal wood movement that actually contributed to some of the design elements that we see in the Green's work. There's just this interplay of understanding that had to exist, and it affects the final outcome.
The Greens designed a small handful of houses on the scale of the Gamble House and at this level of design and quality. And one of them was the Blacker House on the other side of town here in Pasadena. It's a 12,000 square foot house compared to the approximately 8,000 square foot house that the Gambles had.
The Blacker House needed a complete restoration, which began in 1994 and has continued to this day. The reproductions that I've done are built to exactly match what was originally created. In order to recreate the designs of Green and Green, it was necessary to understand the methodology that the Halls used in joining the various pieces of wood together, to understand what the different materials were, to understand what that inlaid surface really was.
We're doing a Green and Green design chair from the Thorson House in Berkeley, and this chair has inlay in the crest rail. The chair is made of mahogany. Most of the vine and branch and leaves are made of white oak. The root, which is darker in color, is made of rosewood. When you want to achieve the look, when you want it to look authentic to the way it was done, you really have to make it the way it was made. We're not using a modern tool like a random orbit sander. We are using the tools the Halls were using, hand planes and scrapers and sandpaper, the way that they were using it. We started by taking a tracing of the original crest rail. From there, we make our own drawing, and we cut out each paper pattern. Those paper patterns then get glued to the inlay material we're using. It can be wood, it can be precious metals, it can be stone. We take a jeweler's saw and we cut out all of those puzzle pieces. We arrange them on the background and we scribe around it with a knife. These materials are inlaid into the surface. So you need to excavate a pocket, approximately a 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch, depending on the size. So you have to get it very, very precise. We glue the puzzle pieces in. After the glue is dry, we carve those pieces to give it a 3D sculptural effect. There's a tactile texture to the work.
Essentially, there have only really ever been 2 companies that have ever built Green and Green designed furniture for a Green and Green designed house. That was the Halls, and that was me. I got to do that. It was this, and continues to be, this absolutely incredible experience.
The Gamble House was built as a winter home. And there are things about this house that make a tremendous amount of sense in the climate and topography of Pasadena and the lifestyle of California. The entry hall at the Gamble House is one of the great spaces in American domestic architecture. The tremendous leaded art glass triptych, this great tree with spreading branches. The idea of nature is a dominant feature and transforms the emotions of people who walk in the door. We feel very profoundly a sense of calm and beauty when we're suddenly in this completely different environment.